Oh how, and welcome back to another episode of my Sketchy Contract starter series. After a break, we start again with preparation for Tier 2. So this video will be a wrap-up of what we've done so far and how to prepare for Tier 2. Alright, by now, during the series, we just started to get the basics done and how to reach Tier 2 from quota, how to level your suit, and stuff like that, which is necessary to push through Tier 1. And in the last episode, we reached this point where we unlocked quota swapping. So quota swapping will be very handy technique which allows us to swap between Tier 2 and Tier 1 for two main purposes. First, you sometimes want to have Tier 2 for different reasons, such as leveling your suit above a cap of 30, or to obtain different enemies or different objectives, or not objectives but objects which you can collect to reach different planets. So sometimes we already we uniquely did all this progress on this save file on Port Coral, which we also will be today. But when you head to different planets or even to different ports, you just have to be Tier 2 or higher. So this reason alone, there are many good reasons to swap quota to a higher tier, but also swap it back to a lower tier. So you can see the active tier in the corner above. When I assign it, I see now Tier 2 is active, and quota swapping always resets your quota back to the lowest point. So every time I swap back to Tier 2, it will start at 1950 quota, and every time I swap to Tier 1, it will go down to blank 200, which is the starting point. So this is really handy for quota stacking. So we already started here, so we have way enough quota to sell for 200, but we have 3 fresh days to collect more. And this is what we want to do today. So preparation for Tier 2 and a checklist of what you can do. You aren't necessarily to do everything of this checklist, but some things which you might want to do before heading on to Tier 2, which opens up also the whole game for you, because even this very last planet is available on Tier 2 or higher. So every port going on from now will be available to you. So yeah, you really want to stay for a port which feels good for you for the early game. For example, Port Coral. It's the easiest of them all, and I recommend to do it on Port Coral for different reasons, but you can nearly choose every of them. Alright, what are the reasons for Port Coral? By the way, it's very easy navigation and very easy enemies. You can learn to dodge and learn the early game. You have many options for gatherings, so there's an open area where you can easily gather stuff and things like this. what do you want to do in preparation for tier 2? First, you really want to level out your suit for 30. And I really would recommend to max health, max stamina, and then max 1 weapon damage. If you are a guy which really likes to do melee, you can do it, especially on tier 2 and higher, because there are weapons available for melee. However, I would always recommend to do range, because it is just the meta in Sketchy Contract to do range damage, because it's very easy to dodge and to deal range damage at the same time. We already had my favorite weapon, the Big Bang or Cosmic Blast, so the shotguns, which are really handy for pushing through lower tier quotas and just have a nice flow in your playstyle. But for max DPS, so damage, which is really necessary only for the highest difficulty and high quotas with enemy which have thousands of health, so you don't really have to do it like this, but just for completion, the max DPS would you get by using in endgame the Pulse Rifle Supreme, which just have the highest DPS, tested by Avery. Also, you can check out his work on the Discord for Sketchy Contract, and there's an updated guide for which weapon deals the most damage in comparison to time. Alright, so with this out of the way, what else for a checklist? So a preferred weapon you should choose. Here are the 2 melee weapons. These are the 3 range weapons. However, there's something else. A flamethrower. It is a range weapon. I would personally recommend to have at least 1 on your team, or in solo 1 flamethrower around you. So you can deal higher damage, which will be necessary for some enemies to really kill them efficiently. You can kill most of the enemies as well with the Supernova, which also can lit targets on fire, or Pulse Rifle, which also deals damage to most enemies in the game efficiently. Not all, but most enemies. But to have a flamethrower on your team really change the playstyle for different types of enemies, which I will cover in depth when we occur, or when they occur in our rounds. Alright, so a flamethrower is 1 for your checklist. A better boombox is another thing for your checklist. So you really want to get always the best boombox available to you. So this would be something I would highly recommend to do first, because after a weapon maybe, but first on this checklist, because it is just so much easier to heal with a better boombox compared to the tier 1 boombox. What else? I would start stacking medgens. You nearly always want to have some sort of medgen installed, especially in group play, because it enables auto revive. If you play solo, you can skip stacking medgens, but usually you will have way enough credits later on, so it doesn't hurt to at least put in a basic medgen or an advanced medgen. You can later also stack the tier 3 medgens easily, but you should consider doing this. Similar It isn't necessary, but it is nice to have. With everything else, you should buy something like medium portable storage boxes and gathering capsules to just make collecting easier in tier 2. You usually want to have more gathering capsules than storage boxes in my experience, but it is up to you. From tier 1, if you haven't already bought them, you should always have a shrink ray and an echo lens. These are the only two things which you want to buy on tier 1, also in the late game, and there isn't an upgrade for them. So there isn't a better echo lens or a better shrink ray, so just one of them for every player. We do it like this in our group, or we have one person which have a shrink ray at least, and one person, or usually every person have an echo lens, but we have some which really like to collect, me included, so usually we have some fighters and some collectors, and the collectors used to have the shrink rays. Alright, so we already have our better weapon, our tier 2 weapon, we have a shrink ray, we have an echo lens, and we have a stinky tier 1 boombox, but it have to do for now. And what we want to do now is swap back to tier 1, so we have a clean 200 quota like this, and then head on and just collect quota. You can do it on basically any planet in this preparation, but you should do it on a planet which you are comfortable on. Alright, so we can also push for a higher tier in the access codes, so we really want to use our echo lens to quickly get around the map and just collect everything easily to get an overview where everything is. I will do a second video to tier 2 quotas, and I guess this will be the last video for the main game loop. I think you can call it like this, because after you get a hang of how tier 2 and tier 3 upwards work in general, there isn't any surprise for you anymore. So there is a fundamentally change in the gameplay from tier 1 to tier 2. So this is a thing, but ongoing it is just similar but more difficult. So you really want to get around comfortable in tier 1, then experience tier 2 and learn it in a new way. And after this you can just go and play the game on a difficulty which you are comfortable with. So, what do you want to do? Just collect everything. You get the hang. Also, you saw already that way better weapon makes it easier to just kill everything, even a mimic. So you aren't in danger anymore for the tier 1 contracts. And yeah. After we had a video for how tier 2 is, we will have then ongoing in the series, I guess, videos for the different planets and ports. So I will do an in-depth guide for Port Coral for the start to just finish it, and then we will head on to finally different ports in this series. Alright. In between you can check where you weren't already with the Echo Lens, and yeah, just take everything with you. Pile it up in some convenient space like this. And once you get everything, you can go on to another place to collect. I guess there was something around here. Also the code. Again, I would recommend to type it in chat. You can always see it and be aware. Alright. So we take something with us, and we really want to come back later on anyway with nighttime, so we can farm night walkers for stacking quota. Well, you can put it also here, doesn't really matter at this point. So, our code was 956, so access level 1, 956, and we head on just to push through. So what will be covered in these in-depth guides, maybe as an overview for you while we're farming here. In the upcoming in-depth guide there will be covered all the navigation around the maps and what is part of which map and how spawning works, special enemies on the different maps, like we have it here for Port Coral. I can show you already these. These guys are unique for Port Coral and I guess Treasure Island, and how to fight them, like how the patterns are for dodging, something like this. Also, which enemies are shared, like the hatchlings and stuff, and how to deal with them. Yeah, I guess this is the basics, and then more special things for the in-depth guides are different spawning locations for more unique stuff, like the hidden furniture, and also something like the generators. Also, I did a fatal mistake like this. So our little friend here, this is the only thing you have to be aware of when playing a bit quicker. This little guy now has our weapon, so we need to go back and take our flamingo. And I wasn't able to switch. You usually want to have something like it picking up shrink ray or stuff. So what? Where was my mind going? So something like the teleporter spawning locations, hidden furniture, and the plushies and stuff. So we take a flamingo, and yeah. Also no worries, the part where I talk about the hidden furniture and the secret plushies will be the end of every in-depth cover, so you can look up anything if you want to have help, or you can be spoiler free and experience it on your own. So even with face tanking, we are able now to kill them easily. You could also dodge there, of course, but yeah. And usually for this farming, you only want to use your time to get everything which you really want to have until nighttime. And after nighttime arrives, you just farm the night walkers, and yeah, that's the game loop for the preparation, I would say. You can also start involving a habit of just gathering everything, because it usually is a good way to quickly reach quota. And now we have the early on, the dark hours until midnight. So we can have a look around. There is already something here. There's a code here. Nice. So we will use the time which is left for heading back, collecting these two things, and heading back for our ship. And then we will go on a night hunt, which for most of you will be the more interesting part, I guess, at this point. Alrighty. So access is granted. And we already can go back in here. And prepare everything for nighttime. Alright, so now I know that this area is clear. And I will be able to fight the Nightwalkers easily. Because we already cleared it on the day shift. So we can see if we can fight any Nightwalkers around here. Also, I can be sure that there isn't any mines or something like greed or stuff. Don't hear any Nightwalkers yet. So I guess we will head on to tier 1. Just take something. Or we could have a brief look outside here. If there is anyone evil luring around here. Where was it? Here. But it doesn't seem like it. Something like this. So you give it a decoy, and then you can quickly go back for your main weapon. And I really like the shotgun for it because it easily gives you the possibility to trigger a fight. So it won't run away, and then, yeah. After this, you will be able to hunt it down. I had one round where a greed stole my echo lens and just yeeted away. It was hilarious, but also a pain in the ass to get it back. I ended up not getting it back, so yeah. There's a Nightwalker. Alright, so again, you can just dodge through them. So you really can dodge through them. You will have enough stamina for it by now. Just go back, wait for an attack, and even if you get hit once, will be usually able to fight them nice. So this is how you can farm them, can fight Nightwalkers. Similar thing for other enemies like this. You can also dash through them, but you could also, with this ones, dash backwards. For the Nightwalkers, I hate to dash backwards, but sometimes it is necessary to the map. But I would always prefer to have some space to dash forwards, so you just get in control of the environment. Alright. There's our greed. Also I have the shotgun or weapon bug, which isn't that nice. But I can show you to fix it, hopefully. In case you're crouching and you're switching back and then you're holding something weirdly, so it covers too much of your screen. It is due to the crouching animation. you might be able to fix it by swimming. So this is a way to fix it, at least for Port Coral. So in case you have this animation glitch, just go into the swimming animation. Sometimes with things like this, ragdolling also helps. But yeah, it isn't that easy always. So there's one location also, and there is a Pew Pew. I really like shotgun for fighting Pew Pews. It isn't that intuitive, especially for these areas. But the thing is, you can lure the Pew Pew with your boombox to a nice place where you can fight it. And then, when you have something like, for example here, it won't wander around that much. Come on, little guy, just a little bit more. And then after switching back, you can go around here. The door will close. And the nice thing about a shotgun is that you will get chunks of damage like this. So you can play it really safe. Because when you close a door, the hitbox usually... Sometimes it is sketchy to do it like this. Because the hitbox of these missiles are just too large, or one comes through and just kills you immediately or stuff like that. It happens. But yeah, as long as you are systematic with it and have patience, you should be able to kill also these guys. Alrighty. So we was able to fight at least one Nightwalker and shrink it down. This is very good. These guys and the Nightwalkers are really nice for our quota. So we really want to farm these. And when you have enough and played a night, you usually should play all 3 days. We won't do it like this here, because I don't want a video to get too long and too repetitive, but like this you can collect quota. And I will show you as well how to efficiently sell your stuff, because 200 of quota in your first games gives you only like 50 credits or stuff. When you head to higher tiers, you will get much more quota. So usually you will be able by now to collect at least your 200 quota, as well as more quota to sell a second one on tier 2. We have already here many things, and when we have collected the last things, I can switch this back, I guess. So when we have collected everything, you want to sell the quota you're on, the farming quota, which is just 200 bucks. But to get credits, you really want to change up the contract first. Also, I guess These 8 we just leave. So you really want to change the tier up to tier 2. And then sell one of these 1900 quotas. So you should have at least, for doing this, 2150. Because 200 will be our quota now, and tier 2 quota is 1950. So we have way enough. And yeah, we can just head back. Also, even if we have just 2 days played like this, but when you want to do it efficiently, you just want to spend all 3 days, so you have many quota over, and yeah. Alright. We survived, which is nice, so we also get experience for our suit, and we reached our top with 30 now. So we will head back. Ready to Sketchies. Don't know what's going on lately in this game with loading, but I have huge frame drops while loading, so don't worry about this if it happens to you. So yeah, we can sell perfectly for the 200 with things like this, and now there's something with 4 left, so we head over, take a 40 and something like 20 and 10, so we have just perfectly 200. Sell it. We'll only get like 30 credits. So when I finalize this contract, I get 30 credits out of it. So you could sell 200 quota for 10 times by resetting and get each time 34. Or, which is really way more time efficient for farming, you stack up a larger amount of quota, head to tier 2 and just sell this quota at a bunch if you have enough for it. So we need 1900, we just take everything and sell it. Also our night walkers, also our pew-pews, just everything which we can afford to sell to get our quota done. Alright, so what's left? 300. We can sell also these guys. 200. Another charge. Now we can get a little bit more systematic, like even out numbers, and then taking something with 8, for example, and now we could do something like this. Alright. And now we get 320. So we have a loss there of around 20 credits, yes. However, it is way more time efficient. So when you do it like this, you will be able to farm quota much more faster, and 300 already in one batch is enough. Also, you can see the next quota will be 2,300. So when you want to get sure that you will be able to, look for tier 1 and or tier 2 and then have make you comfortable with this tier. These are the quotas. So from there on it will increase every time the same amount. So it starts with the 1950 and it goes up to 2,300, so it goes up by 350, and next quota will then be 2,650 and ongoing. So each time it increased by 350. Similar to tier 1, where start quota is 200, and then it goes up to 550 and so on. So yeah, we have it now, but we want to go back for farming or have it here for buying. So we don't have collected our Happy Meal. There is it. And yeah, we also get Cosmic Coins, which is really nice, and Arcade Coins. And we can buy something already like the better boombox and the flamethrower, which was our goal for today. So, like this, you will be able to get everything done in no time, and the thing I would recommend is to spend your cosmic coins also because there is a cap, and you could, for example, also use this duck. You can insert a coin with E and drop a duck, and will get you also cosmic coins. Like already 60, so it's very nice. And you can spam E left click it. Which is not only satisfying, but also give you a lot of cosmic coins. 1000 there. So you will be able to buy everything which you want. Like, I would recommend these wall shelves for organization and at least 2 storage racks for organization. Everything is just decoration, up to you. You can spend it how you want, also for suits and stuff. But I would recommend to have some sort of organization in your ship. So I usually like to place these around here. And here I usually like to place storage or a wall shelf. There's also one wall shelf over here. And usually place wall shelves over here. So yeah, you can have it here for organization of your weapons and stuff. So things I usually take with me, also my boombox, which I actively use and is a bit tricky sometimes, but everything else you can store over here, like your old weapons or items you don't want to sell. or something like this. And also, if you have later on something like the storage boxes, you can place it here and just, yeah, so that is all nice and tight and organized. Alright, so this is a similar setup like this to your preferences would be recommended to head on to tier 2. And yeah, we will play a quarter on tier 2 after this. So I will explain what changed and what to be aware of again on Port Coral. And then we have the main game loop done from before tier 2 and of tier 2 ongoing. For every other planet I will do a separate video, also for Port Coral, where I get everything into detail, like specific strategies for the planets and for specific enemies, as well as for how to find the secrets on the map. So yeah, feel free to look forward for it, and if you have something else you want to see in this series, feel free to comment or let me know by Discord or what else. And yeah, see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and ciao ciao.